You ever get that feeling that your choices aren't, well, entirely your own? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on some of the hidden systems that are quietly shaping our decisions. We're exploring a pretty mind-bending analysis of what's being called our invisible surrender.
Okay, wow. That's a heck of a statement, right? The whole idea that an AI, just by looking at all our data, would figure out that we'd happily trade freedom for comfort. Is that really us? Let's unpack what's actually behind this pretty shocking verdict. So, just to be super clear, we're not talking about some real Skynet-style AI making judgments. This is a thought experiment. It's about asking, if you stripped away all the human emotion and just crunched the numbers on our behavior, what we click on, what we buy, where we go, what would you conclude is the absolute best way to influence people?
Yeah, when you look at the choices of millions of people all at once, the individual reasons kind of fade into the background, and these huge, undeniable patterns start to pop out. It's like looking at traffic from a helicopter instead of being stuck in your car on the ground. And those patterns, well, they lead to some really surprising conclusions about what truly drives us.
And this is basically the verdict. It boils down to these three things. First, we'll almost always take the easier path. Convenience wins over freedom. Second, we respond way better to a gentle suggestion than a direct command. And third, and this is the big one, all of this works best when we don't even realize it's happening. That's a powerful combination for influence, right? So, if bossing people around doesn't really work, then what does? Well, that brings us to the core engine behind this whole idea, the power of the gentle nudge. I mean, this slide lays it out perfectly. Force is like a big, angry, no trespassing sign. It's a direct order. And honestly, it kind of makes you want to rebel, doesn't it? But a nudge is like a beautifully paved, easy to walk on path that just happens to lead exactly where someone wants you to go. Which one are you more likely to follow without a second thought? And that right there is the secret sauce, influence that doesn't feel like influence. It's so effective because it lets us believe we're the ones in the driver's seat, making our own free choices, even when the entire road has been designed to lead to one specific destination. But that brings up a really big question, doesn't it? Why are we so, susceptible to this? What's the fundamental trade-off we're making a lot of the time without even realizing it? I mean, think about it for a second. Your last Amazon purchase or the last app you downloaded. Were you really thinking about your long-term privacy or autonomy? Or were you just focused on the option that saved you a few seconds and a couple of clicks? You can be honest. And this brings us right back to that core equation. This analysis suggests that when push comes to shove, the immediate, real reward of an easier life almost always beats the abstract, far-off ideal of freedom. One-click ordering, auto-renewing subscriptions, saving your password, our entire digital world is pretty much built on this principle.
And that's why this whole thing can feel so uncomfortable. It pokes at this image we have of ourselves as these fiercely independent thinkers. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, we're all a little more willing to trade away pieces of our own autonomy for a smoother, easier ride than we'd like to admit.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. Why is this idea itself so catchy? Why does a headline like "AI says we're easy to control" grab our attention and not let go? Turns out, there's kind of a formula for that, too.
It's a surprisingly simple recipe. You start with a little kernel of truth that we all recognize in ourselves, like, yeah, we do love convenience. Then you add just a hint of conspiracy, this feeling that powerful, unseen forces are using this against us, and the result? You get an idea that's almost impossible to ignore. And this right here is the sweet spot for grabbing our attention. It's that magic overlap where a fact we know is true meets a shadowy suspicion we've maybe had. It makes us feel validated, like our gut feeling was right, and it gives us a bigger, more exciting story to share. And that is exactly what makes us click and share and comment. So, after all of this, where does that leave us? It kind of leaves us with one final, and I think really crucial question to chew on. Think about it. If the most effective kind of control is completely invisible, the kind that feels exactly like you're just making your own choices, then how would you ever even know you were inside of it? Where does their nudge end and your own free will truly begin?